This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat heart. We keeping a foot on the whoop, digs. We keeping a foot on the whoop, digs. And like the Tibetan master that I am, I'm applying whoop on immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? He bursts his pipes. Let's talk about it, man. You see, yesterday, late in the evening, I posted up Shaquille O'Neal's workout. You guys have to understand why He Knows Everything operates in three-dimensional thinking fashion. Because it's basically a skullduggery and a filtration of your brain of what basically training and not talent does. Attitude and not talent does. Shaquille O'Neal is the embodiment of attitude plus talent. When we sit here and look at Kwame Brown, we see there was talent there. But where was the attitude? Why am I correlating them? Well, it's very clear. Shaquille O'Neal was a #1 draft pick in the 1992 NBA draft. Kwame Brown was the #1 draft pick in the 2001 draft. Do you want to know the distinction, the gulf, the separation, and the delineation that was associated with Shaquille O'Neal and Kwame Brown? It was talent and attitude versus a guy that was talented but lacked the attitude. What I said was so deep and profound. Let me let that marinate the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. So hear me fucking well. Shaquille O'Neal was the embodiment of talent plus attitude. Kwame Brown was talent, but he lacked the attitude thereof. Why is that prevalent? Why is that reminiscent? Both of these guys were #1 draft picks. See, when we talk about Kwame Brown, we don't know you as the person. We're getting to know you as the person. But where the criticisms come from is you as a basketball player. And as a basketball player, you didn't do what you were supposed to. You weren't even subpar. You know how in credit scores you have great credit, you have very good credit, which is where I would be. I'd be like in the 700s. You have what we would say subpar credit, and then we would just say bad fucking credit. When we sit here and look at Kwame Brown is the representation of what we say bad credit. He's not even subpar. See, we got to call a spade a spade. We got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck, and we got to keep it 1,000. Why do I appreciate someone like Ryan Leaf? And shout outs to Don't Matter, because he dropped the comment in the comment section, and I'm actually put it in the background so you can see it. He talked about how Ryan Leaf, the reason why he respected him is because his mission statement showcases that he is true in the message that he's filtering. See, a lot of people will tell you, well, this man is not a prophet, he's just a man. Let me explain something to you guys. A prophet is someone that comes to you and gives you basically information that is transformational. A prophet is someone that has soothsaying abilities, wordplay abilities, the ability to influence folks. Word of mouth is off the charts. A prophet is someone who is a person that can represent the definition of a leader. A prophet is someone who basically can impact individuals' corpus callosum, cerebellums, medulla oblongata. The reason why He Knows Everything is a true prophet and Kwame Brown is a false prophet is because He Knows Everything's mission statement is true from day one. What you see is what you get from He Knows Everything. Authenticity and consistency from day one. You don't get that from Kwame Brown. Because Kwame Brown's mission statement is invalid. It's null and void. Let me say it again. His mission statement is invalid and it's null and void. The reason for that is because Kwame Brown is not even honest with himself. This is the biggest determining factor of a 12-step program when you go through something like that. You know, people go through these for Alcohol Anonymous, you know, whatever intervention that they go through. They go through a 12-step program of them basically having to go through what's called mental, emotional, physical, and holistic transformation. Transformers more than meets the eye, so that when they come out of it, they are new creatures. The old things are passed away. But in order for that to happen, the first step in the 12-step program is to stop being in denial. Let me say it again. The first step in the 12-step program is to stop being in denial. Kwame Brown is in denial as you know what, and that's why his mission statement is false. Because unlike Ryan Leaf, he's not being the butt of his own joke. If you came out and said, yes, I am an NBA bust. Yes, I didn't excel in basketball. Now what? Now we're like, okay, those whom they've rejected became the chief cornerstone. Now you have a true message. See, Kwame Brown, I'm helping you out. This is actually not an indictment. This is actually not he knows everything, basically whipping you in shape in terms of basically castrating or basically dominating your personality into the point to where you're left into a peon brain type of situation. He knows everything has done this before to other individuals, and they've deserved it when he's done it. This is more so a admonition, a chastisement, and a correction from one brother to the next. I love my brothers. I love all my brothers. But I would admonish them. I would chastise them and correct them at any given moment. I don't give a flying fuck who it is. You gonna get it. Everybody can testify that. It don't matter the level you are. You are going to get the unlimited pressure. You're gonna feel like you've been worn out because people need reality check moments like this so that they can gird themselves up to get to a higher plane, a higher level. This is how He Knows Everything is wired, and anyone that affiliates or anyone that associates with He Knows Everything is going to feel that because He Knows Everything sees potential in you, so He's going to do that to you so that you can get to the next level. Kwame Brown can go past 15 minutes of fame, but in order to do that, you have to have what's called a true mission statement. I can't stress this enough, Kwame. I really cannot stress this enough. If your mission statement is not true, then you are on what we call shaky foundation. You are on what we call not solid foundation. You are on what we call basically a guy who is trying to figure himself out. A guy that's lost in the damn sauce. This is what we're dealing with the Kwame Browns of the world. An individual that's lost in the sauce, that doesn't know his identity, like Bane said, and the identity is still unknown. Remember when Bane said that in Dark Knight Rises? But then Bane pulled the cat out the bag and he revealed that Harvey Dent was a corrupt individual. You know why Harvey Dent was corrupt? And you know why I'm correlating all of that in The Dark Knight Rises? Because in The Dark Knight Rises, they built their system on a lie. And Bane was able to filtrate that, and Bane was able to showcase that the lie was there. The Joker started it, so the lie was never left undone. And then Bane came out and basically put it out on Jump Street. This is what the lie was. So hence, because the foundations was built on a lie, everything went in disarray. Why am I saying all of this? Because your identity is one of a false prophet. Your mission statement is not on rocky foundation. Rocky foundation can never be shaken or broken. It's on sandy foundation. Sandy foundation can always lead into quicksand. It can always lead into a ditch. Shaquille O'Neal is a guy that put the work in. Shaquille O'Neal was chasing greatness personification, can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. And even Shaquille O'Neal didn't hit his full potential because there were moments where he had lazy moments. We know this with Kobe Bryant. Shaquille O'Neal's a guy that should be walking around with 7 or 8 rings. But he has 4 NBA titles for the work that he put in. And he said, his mission statement, he said, I cannot qualify myself, and my identity could not be valid if I didn't look at the greats before me, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the This is what men have to do. This is how men become alpha males. Did you guys see how every time He Knows Everything breaks down knowledge to you guys, understanding and wisdom, it always comes back in the fold and in the mold of what He Knows Everything tells you guys in its most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-telling fashion. And what does Shaquille O'Neal say in the identity of defining greatness personification? He was chasing greatness personification. He was chasing the elder statesmen that were great. Kwame Brown, if you had that mentality and you had that identity, then you would be in that position as well. Because hard work, you don't have to have a mindset like a He Knows Everything to do hard work. You just have to have the mindset of wanting to put hard work in. Everyone ain't walking around with a He Knows Everything mindset. Good luck with that. Sure Sherlock with that fucking shit. You ain't gonna just find that. We know that to be true because He Knows Everything operates in three-dimensional thinking ability, and there's one of us every 1,000 miles. We're 1,000 miles apart. Good fucking luck with that. Sure fucking Sherlock with that again. But when it comes to hard work doesn't discriminate. Everyone is basically able to put in the hard work. Kwame Brown didn't do this. Kwame Brown chose to have a defeatist attitude. That was his identity. And because of that, his identity led him to be an NBA bust. So you guys understand the delineation. You guys understand the distinction. You guys understand the gulf and the separation. Shaquille O'Neal put in the talent and he matched it with the attitude. Kwame Brown had the talent, but he lacked the attitude. And that was the deciding factor. That was the delineation. That was the distinction. That was the gulf, and that was the separation associated with why a 1992 NBA first draft pick in Shaquille O'Neal excelled and a 2001 NBA first round draft pick, number one pick, in Kwame Brown failed. Kwame Brown, you have to tell the people the truth. Every time you don't tell them the truth, unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? Eat versus pipes. He knows everything's going to tell your truth. Your truth is, and your mission statement is, and your identity is one of an NBA bust. So because you were a bust in basketball, it defined your lineage as a NBA bust. The fact that your channel says bust for life, it's telling us you were a NBA bust. You know deep down in the crevice of your soul, you were a NBA bust. Now you're on, YouTube, smoking hookahs, which is not anything that's abnormal. Everybody's smoking fucking hookahs nowadays. So what? What makes you special? What makes you stand out? What makes you special and stand out is your outlier message. We know your outlier message is true because you're not speaking falseness in it. Notice He Knows Everything doesn't attack the outlier message, because in your outlier message, talking about your people, if that's your greater calling, there's nothing false in that. What's false is the fact that you're living off of the false pretense of an identity of being an NBA bust, and you're not basically letting people know. You're not putting all the cat out in the bag. You failed as a basketball player. Notice your biggest supporter was a mama's boy, pure fucking beta supreme that failed at basketball too. That's why he ran to your fucking support, because he even failed in the fucking D League. Let me say it again. He even failed in the fucking D League. And He Knows Everything formally castrated his ass. So he had to run to you so that he can jump on the bandwagon of your 15-minute of fame. Now you got black people left and right. This is why I know Kwame Brown gonna turn on these motherfuckers. You got black people left and right telling Kwame Brown, hey man, Kwame Brown, like choke or no joke. These Carcino for life, all of these motherfuckers. Kwame Brown, you see, I talk good about you, man. You know, you gotta shout me out. And a prediction, King Strikes. And a prediction, King Strikes. And He Knows Everything as people that He Knows Everything formerly has affiliated with. Hey, Kwame Brown. The reason why I support Kwame Brown, people are jumping the train. That is not the representation of leadership. That is following at the highest levels. It's actually disappointing, because when you perceive someone at the highest levels to be what they are, and then they prove you wrong, it's the things that make you say, It's the things that make you say, But it also reveals sellout tendencies. It reveals that the person's agenda all along, their true colors was one of a sellout. Now, He Knows Everything can't say that he did not see red flags. He Knows Everything always sees red flags with all of these motherfuckers. But it's not his job to sit there and point out the red flags, because I'm about building. I'm not about dividing my own. I have done more for the black community as a YouTuber than practically any fucking YouTuber, man. I've already done more. I've established a lot of channels on YouTube that have affiliated and associated with He Knows Everything. So I could say this. The proof is in the pudding. You can ask anybody. Name a YouTuber that He Knows Everything ain't influenced, formerly known as He Knows the Sport. Any motherfucker that's affiliated with He Knows Everything, if you go and look at them now, they are established. That speaks volumes, because the work speaks for itself. And that's the identity of one of a true prophet. Kwame Brown, you are a false prophet because you're hiding behind the false pretense of you not revealing your true nature. Your true nature is you're hot and bothered like grits, and you're miserable and insecure as you know what, not in your life, but in the fact, in the idealisms of the fact that you were an NBA buzz. And the fact that you're not admitting this, again, it's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, Don't matter. You get the biggest salute of the damn day for revealing Ryan Leaf. Because He Knows Everything didn't even see that equation, but he's adding that equation to the mix. Because this guy, the reason why he can look at himself in the mirror and be happy with his countenance. Countenance is Old English for his appearance, is because his identity stands on one of true foundation. Your foundation has to be true. Your mission statement has to be true. And when your foundation and your mission statement is true, then the person who is speaking has the unmitigated gall. They have the audacity and the right to speak on solid foundation that is rocky. Not on sandy foundation that ultimately leads to quicksand. Shaquille O'Neal was a number 1 pick in the NBA draft pick. Kwame Brown was a number 1 pick in the NBA draft pick. They have a 9-year delineation, a 9-year distinction, a 9-year gulf, and a 9-year separation. Why do I use the number 9? Why is the number 9 prevalent? Because the number 9 means judgment. But the judgment in of itself that creates the delineation, that creates the distinction, that creates the gulf, and it creates the separation is as simple as this. Shaquille O'Neal had the talent, but he made sure that his attitude matched his talent. You have the talent, but you lack the attitude. So whose fault is that at the end of the day? It's your fault. And until you admit that, then I'm sorry to tell you, Kwame Brown, you will continue to live in a cocoon of a lie. And when you start seeing the chickens come to roost, because Malcolm X talks about that, everyone's going to have a chicken coming to roost moment, then you will remember all of these times that He Knows Everything, the true prophet, came to your false prophetship and basically told you, correct this so that you can get out of the false prophethood and then you can graduate in a true prophethood. But absence taking this, absence taking the admonition, absence taking the correction, absence taking the chastisement, it's going to leave you in what we call a precarious situation. That's the cold-hearted, that's the unadulterated, that's the color fashion. I keep the foot on the whoop. Oh, yikes. I keep the foot on the whoop. Oh, yikes. When it's all said and done, man, Kwame Brown is not an enemy of He Knows Everything. You're actually a brother. But you need to tell people the fucking truth. You wear NBA bust, joke about it, laugh about it. I don't care if you even cry about it. But let motherfuckers know that that was your truth. Then that way, your outlier conversation will be what it needs to be. Rocky foundation of conversation. Not sandy foundation of conversation. That's the cold party. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat tell of fashion. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out. Go ahead, He Knows.